Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Gio for footballbook.ca for week 17 of the 2011 NFL season. Oh, my picks were horrible last week. I went 0-4 with my ATS picks. Some of my teams just didn't show up, including a couple of them with playoff implications. Oh well. Fortunately, some of the other guys who do these videos, some of my buddies did really well. The football guru with his second video went 3-0 against the spread. Billy B from I Live to Win went 4-0 against the spread with his picks, and my friend Devin nailed his long shot parlay. So thanks guys, you helped me take the man's money, and I'm gonna return the favor with these picks, and here we go. Okay, to make up for my bad picks last week, I'm going to give 6 ATS picks and 6 over-under picks. The first game we're going to look at is Baltimore at Cincinnati. The Ravens are 2.5-point favorites on the road. You know, Cincinnati still hasn't proven to me that they can beat a good team. Baltimore has had some trouble on the road, but this is a must game for both of them. Although Cincinnati can actually still make the playoffs with a loss here, Baltimore does not want to lose this game and have Pittsburgh win. That way, they'll keep the number 2 seed and they'll host Pittsburgh in week 2, or whoever it is that they'll host in week 2. They'll get the bye with a win. Let's take Baltimore minus 2.5. And the other game that has consequences with this game is Pittsburgh's at Cleveland, where the Steelers are 7-point favorites. Same thing with the Steelers. If they win and Baltimore loses, Pittsburgh grabs the number 2 spot. It's minus 7, very doable for the Steelers. Let's take them minus 7. The third game we're going to look at is Chicago at Minnesota. This is a pick'em game. It might have actually gone up to 1 point for Minnesota. You know, the Bears have lost 5 straight. And Minnesota, they actually can score, although Chicago's had a lot of trouble scoring. Minnesota can score. Let's take Minnesota, and whether it's a pick'em or minus 1, take the Vikings minus 1. And the fifth game we're going to look at is Carolina. Actually, the fourth game we're going to look at is Carolina is at New Orleans. The Saints are 8.5-point favorites here. Now, we all know how the Saints can score, but so can Carolina. You know, New Orleans is probably going to look at the halftime score and see that San Francisco is blowing St. Louis away. And that what's going to happen is that the Saints are going to realize, hey, you know, they have nothing to play for. They might rest some of their starters. You know, Drew Brees already got his passing record, so they don't need to win, and he doesn't need to get any more yards. Don't be surprised if not only does Carolina come back and cover that game, that they can actually beat the Saints. Let's take Carolina 8.5. The fifth game we're going to look at is San Francisco at St. Louis. The Niners are 10.5-point favorites on the road here. St. Louis is just really bad. They are the worst scoring team in the league, and St. Louis, the San Francisco rather, are the top defense in terms of points allowed. San Francisco is going to be highly motivated to win this game. Let's take the Niners minus 10.5. And the sixth game we're going to look at has Dallas going to New York, where the Giants are 3-point favorites in this game. It's if you win, you're in, and if you lose, you go home. I think the Giants are the better team. 3 points here is about as much as I would give, but I'll be willing to lay the 3 points here in this game against a Dallas team that hasn't played very well the last month or so. Let's take the Giants minus 3. Here are my 6 over-under plays. Game number 1 is Indianapolis at Jacksonville. That number is 37. The Colts are not going to try to score here. And even if they let Jacksonville score, the Jaguars are so pathetic, they won't put up many points to themselves. Let's take under the 37. Game number 2 is Detroit at Green Bay. That number is 46.5. Low for a Green Bay game, but the Packers don't have anything to play for, really. They're going to probably rest Aaron Rodgers, so let's take under 46.5. Game number 3, we talked about earlier, Chicago's at Minnesota. That number is 40.5. I don't think Minnesota's played more than 2 games that have gone under 40 points. Let's take the over 40.5 there. Chicago is on a 6-2 over run, and Minnesota is 6-1 over. So let's go over 40.5. We talked about the Dallas Giants game. That number is 46.5. You know, these two teams just about 3 weeks ago combined for 71 points. Let's take over 46.5. Buffalo's at New England. That number is 51. I'm going to take the over because I think the Patriots are going to try to pay back the Bills for that loss earlier in the week, and I think they're going to pile it on. The Patriots have a bye next week anyways, so let's take New England, Buffalo over 51. And the last game we'll look at is San Diego at Oakland. That number is 49. I think Drew Brees has given up trying, and Oakland's having a lot of trouble scoring the points as well. Let's take under 49. here are my straight up plays. I'll put up the winners on my side here, and we'll talk about some of the key games. Number 1, Detroit's at Green Bay. I mentioned Green Bay has nothing to play for. Don't be surprised if Detroit wins this game. San Francisco should take care of St. Louis. I like the Jets over Miami here. Miami is out of the playoffs. The Jets at least are playing for something, so let's take them. I like the Vikings to win. New England. I talked about how Carolina could upset New Orleans. Let's take the Panthers straight up. Washington's at Philly. I like the Eagles there. There's no way Indianapolis is going to win and give up the first overall pick. So let's take Jacksonville. And Tennessee has a shot at making the playoffs. So let's them to edge out Houston. Then the 4 o'clock games and the Sunday nighter. Atlanta should take care of business at Tampa Bay. Baltimore, we talked about that one earlier. I think we'll beat Cincinnati. Pittsburgh will do the same against Cleveland. Kansas City at Denver, I really don't know who to take in that one. I've been riding Tim Tebow for the last 8 weeks, so I'll stick with Tebow. Let's take Denver. San Diego's at Oakland. I think the Chargers have given up, so let's take the Raiders. Seattle's at Arizona. Seattle's better at home than on the road, so let's take Arizona here. And in the Sunday night game, I like the Giants over the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, those are my picks for this week. Good luck to you. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for watching my videos and for rating them and commenting on them. And for those of you who subscribe to my channel, thank you very much. And also, I'd like to thank everyone who makes these videos as well. I love them all and I watch them all. And I'd like to take this opportunity to wish you a Happy New Year. And we'll see you next time for Wildcard Weekend for footballbook.ca. I'm Gio. Let's take the man's money.